Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam Paramanandamadhavam. Let us start from the verses we did in the morning.
Verse 58. Akhandanandarupasya tasyanandalavaashritaah brahmadyastaratam yena bhavantyanandinokhilaah tadyuktamakhilam vastu vyavaharastadhanvitah tasmat sarvagatam brahma Kshire sarpirivakhile ananvasthulamahrisvam adirghamajamavyayam arupagunavarnakyam tadbrahmetyavadharayet yadbhasa bhasyaterkadi bhasyairyattु na bhasyate yena sarvamidam bhati Tad-brahmetyavadharayet Swayamantarbahirvyapya Bhasayannakhilam Jagad Brahma prakashate vanni Prataptaya sapindavat.
So starting from verse number 62 up to verse number 67, we have the summary statement or Adi Shankaracharya concluding the Atmabodha. He concludes the Atmabodha by presenting the very essential ideas of Advaita. What is the most essential idea? That all is Brahman and Brahman alone. Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. There is one non-dual reality, Brahman. Why do you call it Brahman? Because it is infinite and all-pervasive, Brihatvat Brahma. And that very same Brahman is called Atman. Atman means self. It is not that Brahman is everywhere and you are left out. No. It is one Chaitanya everywhere. And that reality, sach-chid-aanandam, Brahma, is verily shining in your heart as yourself. You don't have to go searching here and there. Just find yourself. You have discovered the ultimate reality of the whole world. And therefore that Brahman, Sach-chid-aananda Swarupa, is also called Atman. In other words, whatever, anything, this Brahman is inside and outside and completely everything. What was the example given? Vahni prataptayasa pindavat. Like how the iron ball in fire, red hot iron ball, when you say that fire is totally pervading every bit of that iron ball. It's just shining. Sach-chid-aanandam is everywhere. Is in everything. Asti bhati priyam rupam nama chetyamsha panchakam adyatrayam brahma rupam jagat rupam tatodvayam. So the very famous verse in a text called Dig-desha-kaal-aadi by Swami Vidyaranya. Sometimes they say it Shankaracharya also. Now it says asti bhati priyam. In any object there is existence. Bhati, the object manifests. It shows its presence. It is present, existent. It is present. Its presence is there. Bhati. And every object has got a certain joy value. A certain joy value. For somebody or the other, for some creature or the other. Every object. Now, asti bhati priya. This is Brahman. Nama rupa, name and form, this is the world. So, when we say world, what is world? We say nama rupa. Nama rupa, rupa means form. But form is only representative for shabda sparsha rupa rasagandha. And to an object which has got a certain shabda sparsha rupa rasagandha, we give a certain nama. That's all. So, world is what? World is but name and form. Through this name and form, asti bhati priya shines. Sach-chid-aanandam shines. Asti is sat, bhati is chit, and priya is ananda. In any object, if you find a certain source of pleasure, a joy, it can probably whatever it is, that joy actually belongs to Sach-chid-aanandam. It's not in the object. And we have also seen the final presence and manifestation of joy is when the mind quietens. When the agitation is stilled. Brahma prakashate, how vahni prataptaya sa pindavat. Now continuing this idea that Brahman alone is, you have the next few verses again. So actually verse number 62, 63, 64, these are all coming in the same idea. So we have already completed the earlier verse. Now let us read the next two verses.
Jagad vilakshanam brahma
Kshanam brahma
brahmano yanna kinchana
brahmanonyat na kinchana
brahmaniyat bhati chen mithya
nyat chati chet mitya
yatha maru-maree-chikaa
yata maru-maree-chikaa
drishyate shruyate yadyad
drishyate shruyate yadyad
brahmanonyanna tad bhavet
brahmanonyanna tad bhavet
tattwa-jnaanaat tad brahma
tattwa-jnaanaat tad brahma
sach-chid-aanandam advayam
sach-chid-aanandam advayam
Jagad vilakshanam brahma brahmanonyanna kinchana brahmanyat bhati chen mithya yatha maru-maree-chikaa drishyate shruyate yadyad brahmanonyanna tad bhavet tattva-jnaanaat tad brahma sach-chid-aanandam advayam.
Here there's an example, yata maru-maree-chikaa. You know what is maru-maree-chikaa? Maru-maree-chikaa is mirage. Now using that example, Shankaracharya very beautifully explains the status of the world and what is that reality. So you can have three statements with respect to the mirage and the desert. Number one, you can say the mirage is other than the desert. The experience of mirage, what you have, you can say, mirage is separate, desert is other. Mirage is other than the desert. In other words, as per the nature, if you look at the nature, desert is red, not red, desert is hot sand. Mirage is water. And we call it as mirage later on. But when we experience that, it looks like water. Mirage is not the experience when we see the water. Mirage is after you understand it is desert alone. Then, it was just a mirage. Right? The nature of mirage and the nature of desert are different. Statement number 1. Statement number 2, mirage is desert alone. First statement, what would you say? Mirage is different. Desert is different. Nature is different. One is water, another is sand. Second, what are you saying? Mirage is also desert. Mirage is desert alone. Wherever you put your hand or your leg in the mirage, what are you touching? You are touching desert sand alone. So, as far as nature is concerned, mirage and desert are different. As far as Swarupa is concerned, its essence is concerned, mirage and desert are one and the same. Second statement. What is the first statement I said? Mirage is different, or mirage is other than the desert. Now this statement is made with reference to the nature. Now second statement, mirage and desert are one and the same. This statement is made with reference to the Swarupa, nature. And third statement, only desert is. If you see anything other than desert, meaning if you see the mirage, please understand it is mithya. 3 statements. What is the third statement? Only desert is. If you see something other at mirage than desert, if you see, then that what you see, that mirage, is only mithya. Mithya means what? You see, but in truth it is not there. Now, if you have understood these 3 statements, now substitute mirage with the world and desert with Brahman. Then you get 3 statements. What are the 3 statements? Jagad vilakshanam brahma. World is other than Brahman. Nature is different. Jagat is anitya. Brahman is nitya. Jagat is nama-rupa. And this is what? Sat-swarupa. In other words, Jagat vilakshanam brahma compared to the nature. Now, second statement. What was the second statement? Other than mirage, nothing is there. There is no, other than mirage, there is no actual, other than desert, there is, second statement is what? Mirage is desert alone, right? Mirage is desert alone. So when you say mirage is desert alone, mirage is desert alone. Why mirage is desert alone? Because it's only desert which is actually there. In the same way, Brahman alone is. Other than Brahman, there is nothing. Only sach-chid-aanandam is actually there. You cannot take nama-rupa and show it separately. You cannot take the mirage from there and show separately. There's nothing there. Only desert is there. Similarly, if you take sach-chid-aanandam away, can you take and show nama-rupa? No. If you take water away, can you show the bubble? No. If you take water away, can you show the wave? No. Because nama-rupa has no independent existence. Other than Brahman, nothing is. In other words, the mirage is also what finally is the desert alone. In the same way, world is also finally Brahman alone. Other than Brahman, nothing is there. Brahmanah anyat na kinchana. Desert alone is. Mirage is also finally desert alone. That is with respect to the Swarupa. Other than Brahman, there is no world. World is Brahman alone. Now this is what? This is with respect to the Swarupa. Like how mirage is, wherever you touch the mirage, it is only desert. Anything you touch is finally Brahman. Because why? It is sach-chid-aanandam only is the truth there. Brahmaanyat bhasate mithya. If other than desert, if you see something, it is only a mirage. It is only false. It is only mithya. In the same way, other than Brahman, if you see the world, it is only mithya. Yata maru-maree-chikaa. Jagad vilakshanam brahma brahmano nyanna kinchana brahmaniyat bhasate mithya brahmaniyat bhati chet mithya yata maru-maree-chikaa drishyate shruyate yadyat. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever it may be, yad, whatever it may be, brahmanah anyat na kinchana. It is nothing other than, it cannot be there other than sach-chid-aanandam. Brahman alone is the truth. Brahma satyam, Jagad mithya. But I don't see that. Tattwa-jnaanaat tad brahma. This world is Brahman not because you see with your eyes, ears, nose, not because you experience with your senses. That is because tattva-jnana. Tattva-jnana is you know the matter and the truth of things. Tattva-jnaanaat tad brahma. What you see is because of the limitations of the senses. But what you know is the true fact. You may see the mirage. Just because you see the mirage doesn't mean mirage is true. You will see. Even if you know it is a mirage, you will continue seeing it. You will see it. Because that is the phenomenon. When the light, called total internal reflection, that process, that phenomenon, when the light in a certain way interacts with the desert, the light themselves, they interact, then what happens? Due to a certain process of reflection called total internal reflection, you have the experience of the mirage. Now, you know it's a mirage, but you will see. Anybody has seen mirage? All of us have heard of mirage, right? Have you seen mirage? Anybody has seen? Okay, I have not seen. Yes. But you know, when you don't have to go to some Registan to see mirage on the roads. During hot summers when you drive and go, you will see in distance water on the tar road. You all have seen, right? The hot road. And then as the car goes there, you will see it's only the road. Now, tattva-jnaanaat tad brahma. Tattva-jnaanaat tad brahma. It is not that when somebody realizes Brahman, somebody knows the ultimate truth, the world remains unexperienced. No, it is not like that. The world will continue to be experienced, but will not be known to be world. Also, one more example also I can give you. It's a beaker, glass beaker, let us say, and you have a stirrer, whatever something you have. Now, that is there in that glass beaker. When you look at it, how does it appear? It appears bent. It will appear to be bent even if you know it is not bent. tattwa-jnaanaat tad brahma. By the knowledge of reality, this is Brahman. By the experience of the ultimate truth, this is Brahman. And this, who experiences? Tattva-jnaanaat tad brahma. And what is this Brahma? Sach-chid-aanandam advayam. Of the nature of sach-chid-aanandam. Now, who experiences this? Next verse. Sarvagam.
Sarvagam sach-chid-aatmanam
Vagam sach-chid-aatmanam
jnaana-chakshuh nir-eekshate ajnaana-chakshuh-neksheta
ajnaana-chakshuh-neksheta
bhasvantam bhanu-mandhavat
mandhavat.
Sarvagam sach-chid-aatmanam jnaana-chakshuh nir-eekshate ajnaana-chakshuh-neksheta bhasvantam bhanu-mandhavat.
Sarvagam, all pervasive. Sach-chid-aanandam, existence, consciousness, bliss, self. All pervasive. It is a very reality, it is a truth. But such a thing who sees? Jnaana-chakshuh nir-eekshate. One who has the eye of knowledge sees it. It is not the physical eyes, it is the eye of knowledge. It's the eye of knowledge, it's the eye of the very direct experience of the pure, of the highest. Jnaana-chakshuh nir-eekshate. However much we explain, however much the Guru can tell, however much one may study, if that is not there, ajnaana-chakshuh neksheta. Those who do not have this eye of knowledge, but only have that veiled by ignorance, jnaana-chakshuh, and what is the next one? Ajnaana-chakshuh. What is ajnaana-chakshuh? Your vision is clouded, blinded by ignorance. That is ajnaana-chakshuh. Jnana-chakshuh sees this, whereas the one who doesn't have the eye of knowledge, but rather has the blindness of ignorance, that person will not see that. Nir-eekshate, will never see. That's not the problem of Sachchidananda, that's not the problem of Brahman, that's not the problem of reality. That is that person's problem. Like how Bhasvantam Bhanum Andavat. Bhasvantam Bhanum. Bhasvantam Bhanum is what? A sun which is super radiant. Bhasvantam Bhanum. Midday sun. Bhasvantam Bhanum. But that sun, if you have eye, you see. But if one is challenged, one is andha. Andha means one who is blind. Such a person will not see that. The problem is not because of the sun, the problem is because of the lack of vision the person has got. Right? So, sarvagam sach-chid-aatmanam jnaana-chakshuh neksheta ajnaana-chakshuh neksheta sarvagam sach-chid-aanandam jnaana-chakshuh nir-eekshate ajnaana-chakshuh neksheta bhasvantam bhanum andavat. In other words, the means of knowledge is required to have this kind of experience. The means of knowledge. And what is the means of knowledge? The means of knowledge is this Vedanta jnana finally coming out as one's personal experience. That he again captures it in the next verse. Shravan-aadibhih.
Shravan-aadibhih ud-deepta
Deepta
jnaana-agni pari-taapitah Jivas sarva-malan muktah svarna-vat dyotate swayam
navadyotate swayam
Shravan-aadibhih ud-deepta
Shravan-aadibhih ud-deepta jnaana-agni pari-taapitah Jiva sarva-malan muktaha navadyotate swayam. Here he takes the example of how a metal like gold, how it is refined and how it is refined and finely. So let us see what he is saying. Shravan-aadibhih ud-deepta, jnaana-agni pari-taapitah. Shravan-aadibhih ud-deepta. Now if you see what sometimes how they do, they take the metal and then they blow air, right? They have some kind of thing by which the air moves. It's called bellows. And then they fire it also on top. You see? They hit it from bottom and then they fire it from top. The same way. Now, what is this? First, it is the unrefined metal. Okay? The unrefined metal is taken example here as jiva. The jiva is taken and the jiva is heated. The jiva is heated by what? By the wind, the wind which bellows, which go in. Like that Shravan-aadibhih. Shravan-aadibhih is what? Shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Shravan-aadibhih. And then what? Jnaana-agni pari-taapitah. And the same one, when through that Shravana, manana, and nididhyasana, the jnana which arises, that fire, with that fire, the jiva is heated. With that fire. Then what has happened? What happens then? Jivaha sarva-malan muktaha. The jiva becomes free from all impurities. Ajnana, vasana, so on and so forth. Kama, krodha, etc. And finally, ajnana also. And then what happens? Svarna-vat dyotate swayam. That effulgence, or what do you say, that brightness of the gold, which is inherent to it, now that starts shining. The jiva, which is essentially chit-swarupa, now veiled by so many impurities, kama, krodha, etc., by ajnana. Now you heat that. How do you heat it? Through Shravana, Manana, etc. And through Shravana, Manana, etc. comes also the jnaana-agni. And that fire, you use it, and then what you do? You still keep heating the jiva, and then what will happen to the jiva? All the impurities go away. And then when all the impurities go away, what happens? The jiva's true swarupa, the Atman's true swarupa, the self's true nature of that chit swarupa, then it starts shining. Meaning, the dirt you remove, then the original nature comes off by itself. Remove the ajnana, remove all the dirt, and then the self of itself shines. That is what verse number 65. Now in the next verse, what Shankaracharya does is that the entire Adhyatma Vidya, the whole thing that we have studied so far, everything, he puts it in one verse. So this is kind of summary verse. The whole thing, whatever we have studied, can you say it in one verse? Shankaracharya says, now here is it. So if you say, I have not studied the whole Atmabodha, but can you give me one verse in which the whole Atmabodha summary is there? You remember we had 3 verses before? In the middle it had come. 3 verses had come. Now, what is the number? 20? 25, 26, 27, right? Now here we have in one verse, he gives the whole essence. Okay? This is verse number 67, the penultimate verse.
Hrid-aakaashodito hyatma bodha-bhaanuh sarva-vyaapee sarva-dhaaree bhati bhasayate khilam Hrid-aakaashodito hyatma bodha-bhaanustamopahrит sarva-vyaapee sarva-dhaaree bhati bhasayate khilam.
Very nice verse. Sarva-vyaapee. Sarva-vyaapee, all pervasive. Can you see where the word is sarva-vyaapee? All pervasive. Second line, first word. Sarva-vyaapee. I'm going to reconstruct this verse to make certain sentences so that the meaning comes out very, very clearly. Sarva-vyaapee, all pervasive. Sarva-dhaaree, that which supports everything. Sarva-vyaapee, meaning in every object it alone is therefore sarva-vyaapee. Sarva-dhaaree, because it is a substratum. Substratum supports the false. The rope supports the snake. The desert supports the mirage. The shell supports the silver. Adhisthana supports the adhyastha. Adhisthana means substratum. This adhyastha means superimposed. So adhisthana in the rope snake example, which is adhisthana? Rope is adhisthana. What is adhyastha? Snake. In the desert mirage example, what is adhisthana? Desert. What is the superimposed? Mirage. So what do you call it? Adhyastha. Because sach-chid-aananda is a substratum, sarva-dhaaree. So sarva-vyaapee, sarva-dhaaree. What is it about which we are saying sarva-vyaapee, sarva-dhaaree? That is there in the first line. Atma. Samji, Atma is not there. Hyatma is there. He plus Atma becomes Hyatma. He means indeed. So sarva-vyaapee, sarva-dhaaree, Atma, that self, yada, when. Hrid-aakaasha uditaha bodha-bhaanuh bhati. When that supreme self, when that sach-chid-aananda tattva, the substratum of the whole world, which is you also, that one, Hrid-aakaasha uditaha, when it rises in your heart, as what? Bodha-bhaanuh, as Bhanu is sun. Bodha-bhaanuh means what? As a sun of knowledge. Which is appearing as sun of knowledge? That pure, all-pervading reality, Brahman, it rises in your heart. It rises in your heart means what? It rises in your mind and intellect. Whenever in spirituality we say heart, we don't refer to the blood-pumping heart with auricles and ventricles. We are referring to the mind and intellect. And the mind and intellect is called heart because it's a very core of one's. We feel very core, it's deep. So Hrid-aakaasha udita means what? In the space of your heart, when that supreme reality rises, meaning that supreme reality, Brahman, in your own heart, mind and intellect, comes as what? Bodha-bhaanuh, the light of knowledge. What is this light of knowledge? That thought. Aham Brahma Asmi. Aham Brahma Asmi. Remember? Jnana, it rises. That thought which one practices. First one gains it in what? In Shravana. Then one clarifies and makes it perfect, clear in Manana. Then one takes it and makes it deeper in Nididhyasana. And what is that you are doing? Aham Brahmasmi. When that becomes very clear, when that becomes very deep, when that shines so vividly, what happens? That bodha-bhaanuh, that aham Brahmasmi, which further taken into samadhi, which even taken more deeper and deeper and deeper, then what happens? It puts an end to ignorance. Tamopahrit. Here, bodha-bhaanuh is referring to that knowledge. Remember, knowledge, what does it do? It puts an end to ignorance. Tamopahrit. Tamopahrit means what? Apahrit, which removes. Tamopahrit, which removes tamas. Which removes tamas, which removes darkness. Darkness stands for ignorance. Light stands for knowledge. Bodha-bhaanuh stands for knowledge. That knowledge, tamopahrit, it removes the ignorance. And when ignorance is removed, what happens? Even that knowledge is not required. Once the ignorance is removed, sarvam atmatvena sarvam prakashate. Sarvam prakashate. Can you see that last? Sarvam prakashate. All shines. All shines means what? All shines as yourself alone. Sarvam atmatvena prakashate. Sarvam brahmatvena prakashate. When it said, drishyate, shruyate, yadyat, brahmano anyat kinchana. Nothing other than Brahman is there in all that you see and hear and taste and smell and touch. That comes when? When the ignorance goes away. How will the ignorance go away? When the bodha-bhaanuh arises. When aham brahmasmi, that knowledge becomes truly Atmabodha. Are you understanding how this verse goes? So if you want to truly understand this, you should make certain lines. Sarva-vyaapee, sarva-dhaaree, atma. Yada Hrid-aakaashoditaha bodha-bhaanuh bhati. Then what happens? Tamopahrit bhavati. Then what happens? Sarvam prakashate. Sarvam atmatvena brahmatvena prakashate. In this way, Adi Shankaracharya has compressed the whole Atmabodha in one verse. You may look at me like this. Okay, yes. But if you really, if you have that, what can I say? As you study more and more Vedanta, when you see a verse like this, you will feel the thrill. What he has done. Amazing. The whole text in one verse. Hrid-aakaashodito hyatma bodha-bhaanuh sarva-vyaapee sarva-dhaaree bhati sarvam. What is that? Bhati?
Bhasayate.
Let me hear her.
Bhasayate.
Bhati bhasayate
Akhilam.
akhilam. Okay. That is there in your text. Another patabeda. Bhati sarvam praka. Bhati bhasayate akhilam. Bhati, it shines. Right? Then bhasayate akhilam. Bhasayate akhilam. All of them shine as the Supreme Brahman alone. Bhasayate akhilam. Akhilam bhasayate atmatvena. That knowledge, when it puts to an ignorance, then that, when the ignorance is gone, and then the self alone shines. And when the self alone shines means what? Bhasayate akilam, it does not illumine all objects. It's not that way, illumining all objects. It is even now illumining all objects. Bhasayate akilam means what? You see that experience of that alone is that Supreme Brahman. And this is also a nice way. Sarvam prakashate. Sarvam atmatvena prakashate. Right? Now completing the text. Now you have the last verse which gives the result of this self-knowledge. And the beauty of this self-knowledge. Okay? Let us read the verse.
Dig-desha-kaal-aadi sarvagam.
Dhyanapekshya sarvagam.
Sheet-aadi sukham niranjanam.
Sheet-aadi sukham niranjanam.
Swaatma-teertham bhajate vi-nishkriyah.
Swaatma-teertham bhajate vi-nishkriyah.
Sa sarva-vit sarva-gato amrato bhavet.
sarva-vid sarvagato mruto bhave.
Dig-desha-kaal-aadi sarvagam Sheet-aadi sukham niranjanam swaatma-teertham bhajate vi-nishkriyah sa sarva-vid sarvagato mruto bhavet.
Yaha. Yaha, any person. Any person. Our Swamiji used to say, whoever he be, he who. Whoever he be, he who. Meaning what? There's no distinction. It can be anyone. Man, woman, yes. Young, old, doesn't matter. Whichever country, whichever religion, whichever culture, whoever be that person, swaatma-teertham. Tirtha means it's a punya kshetra, is it not? Say Uttarakashi, Gangotri, Yamunotri, we say Tirtha. Tirtha sthana, we say. Now what is a Tirtha here? Swaatma-teertham. Swa-atma. Swa-atma means what? Your own self. Yaha swaatma-teertham. Swaatma-teertham means what? Your own self. That is the Tirtha. That is the Punya Kshetra. That is the greatest, most pure, supremely more holy, absolutely sacred. That Swaatma-teertham. That self. And how is that Swaatma-teertha? It has what? Dig-desha-kaal-aadi anapeksha. First line. Dik means space. A certain kshetra is in a certain place. You go north and then that place you will find. Or you go, let's say Rameshwara, you have to go south. So Dik. Dwaraka, you have to go west. Kamakhya, you have to go east. Different tirthas, which are all located in different dik space. Dik what? Direction. Desha. Desha means place. Different. So dik is direction. Desha is space. Kala is time. All these places, all these other tirtha kshetras, they are all apeksha. They have a dependency on direction. They have a dependency on place. Kanyakumari, it's on the tip. What tipmost? What can you say tipmost? Or the point which is the final tip of India. So you have Sharda temple. It's in POK. You can't go. It's in a different country now. Not different country. It is in a place which is our country but occupied by a different country. Kailas, Mansarovar. So much difficulty to go. Not so easy to go. A certain number of people alone can go visit. And for that certain process to be followed. And then also you have to have proper health. All the other tirtha kshetras have so much of dependency on direction, space, time. It will take whatever time it has to take. But you can't say, I am going now today to, let's say, I am going to Kailash today. No. It will take its own time. So much process are there. Adi. Adi means other factors. You may want to go to Kailash, let us say, but it is expensive also. You can't afford. You may afford, you may not afford. It is dependent on so many factors. And it is in one place. Only one place. Whereas how is this? This swaatma-teertham, Dig-desha-kaal-aadi, anapeksha. It has no dependency on any of these things. And it is not there only in one place. It is there in you, it is there in him, it is there in her, young or old, it is there in me. Sarvagam. Anybody can access it. This is what? Yes, swaatma-teertham. And who can access this swaatma-teertham? Vi-nishkriyah. Vi-nishkriyah, one who has mastered all kriya. Mastered all kriya means what? The mind has its kriya, which is thoughts. The sense organs have their own kriya, actions. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. So many things. Each instrument has its own particular kriya. The mind and intellect have their own kriya. But one who has quietened all these things. Vi-nishkriyah. Who has gone into the depths of his own personality. Swaatma-teertham. One who has reached the core of himself. And many of these tirthas are present in places, ooh, so cold. This swaatma-teertham is what? Sheet-aadi Hrid. There you go, there you shiver. Here you go, there is no Shita, there is no Ushna. Meaning Sheet-aadi, when you say Shita, Ushna, meaning the pairs of dualities are not there. Sukha is not there, dukkha is not there, mana is not there, apamana is not there, honor, dishonor. In other words, it puts an end to all the tapas. All the tapas, all the sorrows and pains. Sheet-aadi Hrid. It just does not remove all the sorrows and pains. Nitya Sukham. It is eternal bliss. Niranjanam. Niranjanam means what? It is so pure and unpolluted. Go to Gangaji, you want to take snana. They say, don't take bath here. This ghat is very, you go there, water is very clean. Yamuna ji, Babri. We study so much about Yamuna and Bhagavan Krishna having played on the banks of Yamuna and swam in the Yamuna. You don't ever try that. So polluted now. This swaatma-teertham, Shankaracharya says, is what? Dig-desha-kaal-aadi anapeksha sarvagam Sheet-aadi Hrid nitya sukham niranjanam. This swaatma-teertham, a vi-nishkriyah, yaha vi-nishkriyah, bhajate, resorts to, gains access to, resorts to, takes refuge in, resorts to, finally experiences it. So yaha, whoever be that person, but that person has to quieten his mind, quieten the senses, go inward. Such a person, what does he gain? Saha sarva-vit. Sarva-vit, sarvam vetti iti sarva-vit. He is a knower of all. He is a knower of all, just as how a goldsmith knows gold ornaments, all of them to be gold, and is not carried away by nama-rupa. He has gone to the essence. In the same way, this Mahatma, when he sees the world of names and forms, he is not carried away by names and forms. He knows all of them to be sach-chid-aanandam. He knows all of them to be himself. Sarva-vit, and knowing himself, how is this person? Sarva-gataha. He has expanded himself into the whole world. Everything is he himself. So Sarva-vit, he is knower of all. He is one who is all. In other words, he is not limited by time, not limited by space, not limited by object. Amritaha, such a person who's not a person, who's pure sach-chid-aananda. Amritaha, immortal. Bhaved, he becomes. Dig-desha-kaal-aadi sarvagam Sheet-aadi nitya-sukam niranjanam swaatma-teertham bhajate vi-nishkriyah sarva-vat sarva-gato mruto bhavet. We are reading mruto bhavet, okay? Amruto bhavet, but that is hidden there. Sarva-vat sarva-gato mruto bhavet. Anybody wants to go to the swaatma-teertham? Samji, tomorrow morning we are going to, this is swaatma-teertham. Tomorrow morning, where are you going? Vadaknaathan temple, right? Are you going to Kaal-aadi? Yes, Kaal-aadi. Maybe they have planned out. Now, those who want to go to swaatma-teertham, wherever you go, you pray to the Lord. Oh Lord, please bless me so that I reach finally the swaatma-teertham. Pray for that. Okay? Yes, swaatma-teertham. Bhajate vi-nishkriyah. Sarva-vat sarva-gatah amritaha bhaved. This is the greatest punya kshetra. And all these are presented as kshetras. Okay? By Bhagavan Shankaracharya's grace, by the blessings of Pujya Gurudev, by the enormous grace of the entire Guru Parampara, somehow we have completed. I can say somehow. Why Swamiji was saying somehow? Yes, it was a very challenging task. We completed. And you also have learned the best what you could in these days. But the learning does not stop with this verse. Is it not? We have to again study. In the tradition, in order to tell ourselves that I have not completed the study, I am only starting the study, that I have to again and again repeat so that this knowledge becomes part of me. You know what we do? We read the first verse again. We finish the whole. But we don't say it's over. We read the first verse. Why we read the first verse? To tell oneself, I will again study. So it's a promise you are taking to yourself when you read the first verse. What will promise you? I am going to study it again. Okay, Swamiji, one time I study is over. I'm going to study again and again. Till when? Till the bodha-bhaanuh arises in your heart. Until when we reach the swaatma-teertham. Okay? Shall we read the first verse? First verse only we will read. Those who say, no, I'm not going to study, don't read it. Because if you read it, then it means that you will have to study it. Study the whole thing again. So be careful when you read the first verse. Ksheena-paapanam shantanam vitaragina mumukshodam-apekshoyam Atmabodho vidhiyate. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Let's just sit quietly for just a minute or two, and then internally collect yourself, pray to the Lord, pray to Bhagavan Shankaracharya for all blessings, for all completeness in knowledge and all fulfillment, and for the joy of the whole world. Pray also that this knowledge, this tradition, continues to bless all and everyone all over the world without any distinction. Om Sarvesham Swastir-bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir-bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma kaśyid dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amrutangamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.